Hello, my name is Gabby and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, then welcome to my channel, and today's video is my spoiler-free review for Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angeles. So Where Dreams Descend takes place in a city of ice and follows a group of magicians who are competing against one another to receive a headline position at the Conquering Circus. However, they soon find themselves threatened by an unknown danger that is working behind the scenes. So I was super excited for this book when it came out, and I started it as soon as I got my hands on it, and then I ended up picking it up and putting it back down sporadically for a little over a year until I finally read the last 200 pages or so this September. So this is definitely a book that's taken me probably some of the longest I've ever taken to read a book. I think I have one right now that's also rivaling it, but it's fine. And because it's a book that has taken me so long to read, this is kind of a hard review for me because I feel like I have a lot of mixed feelings on it. So let's just dive into it now. As for our main character, Kalia, I enjoyed her character and I found her story to be interesting. She has a lot of character traits that I admire about her, and she was super easy to root for because of the respect that I developed for her as I kept on reading. That being said, other than that respect, I didn't really get too attached to her, and that can be said for really a lot of the characters in this book, where I liked certain things about them and I respect them and root for them, but I just don't have any personal feelings or attachment to them. And same thing for DeMarco, I kind of really don't have any opinions on him. There were times where I did find his character to be interesting, but he was also just kind of there for me, which isn't a bad thing because I would say he had more of a positive impact on the story for me than a negative one. Speaking of the story, there was just some sort of block throughout this whole book that formed between me and this book that just prevented me from really getting into it. There were parts of this story that were really working for me, but then there were also other parts of this story that threw me into reading slumps and ended up dragging down the good parts. But I also do want to highlight some of those good things because there were quite a few, and the highs for this book with me were really high. I really loved the atmosphere of this book, and I thought that the world and setting were so cool and interesting, and it was one of the things that attracted me to this book in the first place. I also really love the magic, and I would also be super interested in a decent quality live action version of this story because I would love to see it, honestly. I also really enjoyed how this book explored women in the story and how they were treated by the people around them in the context of the story and their jobs. I really ended up admiring a lot of the women in here. There's this character that shows up towards the end of the book that I'm not going to say too much about because of spoilers, but I just thought that she was super interesting and she really grabbed my attention, and I would have loved to see more of her. Maybe in the sequel, I don't know. The story also felt kind of slow burn, which I do typically enjoy, I think. I don't really know how I feel about it in the context of this book. But there's also a pretty prominent romance that does develop in here, and even though I like seeing all of that development in the story, I mostly just felt kind of neutral about the romance. They did have some really good scenes though. So overall, I ended up giving this 3 out of 5 stars. There's a part of me that really does want to continue on with the sequel. Also, the cover of this one and also the newer one are really good, and I've been seeing them everywhere, so... And I also do want to continue on for all of those good moments that I experienced reading this that I did genuinely love, but I'm also really scared to continue on with the series because of all of the slumps and all of just how long it took me to finish it. If I ever do decide to continue on, I do think that I want to reread this one first maybe, and then I also do feel like I kind of need a break from this series. But I do just want to give this book and this series the attention that I also feel like it deserves, and I want to make sure that I take the proper steps so I can properly appreciate all of those good moments and maybe even come to terms and find peace with the moments that took me out of this book. So yeah, maybe one day I'll continue on, but just probably not right now or in the, I don't know, close future, who knows. So that's all I have for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and answer the question that'll be around here if you want to do that. And hopefully I will see you here next time. Bye!